Greetings everyone, my name is Addervale, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. In this return to the regular weekly morning live stream, I'll be covering a combination of both Veersmith levels and some other levels I find online for the next 2+ hours, and then afterwards I'll showcase art. I'll be playing Hollow Knight tomorrow morning. There'll be no stream tonight, nor tomorrow evening. So welcome to the stream Hyper, Jedox, Sunflora, Raccoon, Pixel Boy, Iwumi, J Butters, Minubi, Zeros, Popcorn, and anyone else who I missed. Thank you. When the light is running low and the shadows start to grow and the places that you know seem like fantasy. Man, I love that song. It's gonna be so emotional when the full track plays, inevitably at the end of Deltarune. The Nintendo Direct was a mix of okay to awesome. For me, the highlights were of course the announcement of the Mega Man Star Force collection. We were expecting that to arrive, it has arrived. Danganronpa 2x2. They're doing the V-Tree thing, I think that's what people call V-Tree, or whatever. So, we have a completely alternate route for 2x2, so literally 4. Yeah! I can't believe we're going back down there, but it's gonna be awesome. No kidding. By changing the perpetrators, who dies and who survives, that will significantly impact the class trials. Let's see, the other thing I sent in regards to that was, oh yeah, the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I knew a bit about it in advance due to the whole leak from Axe Body Spray, or Old Spice, I forget which. I'm surprised they're going with Super Mario Galaxy movie instead of Super Mario World, but, I don't know. Will I watch it? Probably. Last but not least, I watched the trailer for Hyper Yuki. Looks interesting. I'm not into snowboarding though. Alright, also, last but not least, Metroid Prime 4. Not cancelled edition. There is also the Mega Man World sub-series on Flora, consisting of 5 games. There's enough games there that you could actually have that. It did have the Super Mario World leitmotif, but yeah. I wanna spend more time with the Ultimate Imposter. Anyways, that's one of the longest times we spent looking at the rules. Let us begin with our first level today. Mega Man 100 Level 2 Tribal Man by I Will Win. 14 plays and a score of 3. And of course, last but not least, the direct ending on a power move by showing off the new Fire Emblem game announcement. Oh my goodness, taking place in the same world or slash universe as Tree Houses, but somewhere else in the timeline, far in the past, far in the future. Nice. And with the gameplay enhancements of Engage, or Engine, wonderful. We'll wait and see. No kidding, I've only been adjacent to the water modding scene, and it's, Nintendo created such an interesting the toolkit for building levels with Wonder that they didn't fully take advantage of for various reasons. And I'm just happy to see other people take up the mantle. Or take up the bat. With Anton Blast, I'm waiting for more mods to enter the scene. And boss rush mode. Oh my. Ah, Slash Claw, my favorite. It only pierces through a few things, not all things like in Maker, I'm afraid. Whoa! Okay. Hey Jaden, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. I need to find out what? Komeda getting married? They're remaking Danganronpa 2 because they know Komahina is what sell copies. Nice. I can totally understand that, J Butters, because oh my goodness. The closest thing may be an X Maker, but that too would be a tall ask. Will I play Hollow Knight today? No, I'll save it for tomorrow. Wait, Komahina? Well... It just hit me what that pairing entails. Well... I shouldn't criticize fan pairings, so, Oh! Nagito / Hajime. Okay. Okay. I was going under a very different impression of what that ship consisted of, which that ship consisted of. Thank you, Amumi. that makes a lot more sense now. What do you mean, Jaden? I'm confused. Yes I will, Jaden. Sage doesn't begin this week, it begins next week. Specifically this Friday, starting on the 19th. Anyways, this was a solid, straightforward starting point for the stage. I'll give it a thumbs up. It's kind of probably kind of okay. That's why I was getting confused, Jaden, when you said that, because I wasn't sure what was the confusion about. And yeah, I'm gonna stream Sage entries next Sunday on my designate slots and Redacted, as well as a few other times. Alright, second up is Molting Depths by Mr. Darkfin. 47 plays and a score of 9. Danganronpa game starring X as a protag, Zero as the secondary main character, and imagine if Mega Man could get the double jump. And the Mavericks as the other participants. I will return to Your Turn to Die once that chapter's done. It was enthralling. I like the character writing a lot there. Pile Driver. Am I looking forward to Sage? Absolutely. For those who already know most of my Sage coverages, you know exactly what I'll be. You know at least half of what I'll cover during this upcoming expo. Oh yeah, I want the base. Give me a moment. I want the timer back down, so let's do it again. I'm sorry you feel that way, Jaden. Thank you. I fumbled that, but I got rewarded anyways. Oh no. Whoa! Sudden lag spike. Pile Driver! I'm just gonna stand perfectly still then. Wow. I'm surprised it worked. Oh no, oh no. That was a close one. If I was just a few pixels to the left, I'd be roasted. Let's see what she said, J-Butter. Yes, that means we can all finally talk about... We were just talking about some of the stuff in the Nintendo Direct before you arrived, Jaden. Honestly, I'm not sure how to feel about the overprevalence of the word slop attached to many things, or referred to many other things here. I understood it for AI slop, but now talking about it used in general terms like friend slop, co-op slop, and now just referring to a bunch of movies or games as slop. I don't know how to feel about that. Will I watch the Super Mario Galaxy movie? Probably. I found the first movie to be okay. Let's hope they actually make it a bit more focused this time, instead of feeling like a parade of various Nintendo properties. Oh, and yeah, I mean, when you talk... Oh, wow. When we talked about it a few months ago and years ago, I pretty much guaranteed that, yeah, with how successful a Super Mario movie was, with 1.36 billion grossing worldwide, we were gonna get a sequel. Oh my goodness! I used the wrong weapon. I thought this was further down the line. This is why I wish I could reorder my special weapons. Thank you, Eddie. Hi, Apple. Hi, Kathleen. Oh, certainly, Iwumi. But the movie being half okay actually helped quite a bit. Oh, I'm going back. You're right. I see it. Yeah, with the way the stage is organized, it almost seems like this could be a Metroidvania how we can backtrack here. Like, that sort of jump I just made to backtrack, that's something I've seen in regular stages too. Like, it's the equivalent challenge both ways. The biggest problem here is the killer bullets, of course, because I don't have any easy... Well, I'll probably just have to use this. Alright. Playing in space does make this a bit easier. Okay, I guess it multi-hitted. Thank you, Beat. Slash Eddie. Yeah, I could see the problem there. I thought I had to go back left. I never actually hit another checkpoint here. Let's go. Yeah, multi-hit during the swing. As I was saying, yeah, the Super Mario movie grossing over 1.36 billion worldwide, it only guaranteed, even more guaranteed it was going to have a sequel. If anything, the movie that baffles me the more that we don't have a sequel about is Detective Pikachu. Like, even during its release, we've seen how... they knew how successful the movie was, they saw how successful the... They saw how successful the Sonic movies were. Heck, even the Mario movie now, and why don't we have a sequel for that? I'm speaking from the... I'm speaking from the perspective of the big bucks. Oh my goodness. Like, even if the... I agree, Jay Butters. If the movie was bad, it would still sell very well. It's just that it being halfway okay actually made it even sell even better. Okay, after 3 detours, I want to finish this section. Yeah, new Fire Emblem in Three Houses universe, let's go. Yeah, I still think it's a dumb way to use that term of quote-unquote slop. If I say I dislike something, I'll just say I dislike it. I'm not gonna use the term slop or whatever. To me, at least, slop has very specific connotations, but, you know. Yeah, the only negative thing I'll say for Direct is that Pokemon ZA announced paid DLC even before the game came out, which is, it's not even cosmetic stuff, so... It's not like cosmetic or collector edition stuff, so yeah. This is not like the DLC that was part of, the DLC that was announced for Bonanza. That I can be okay with. Maybe not the price point, but... Yeah, it's been a while, Apple. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I can understand why you would rage at this, Minubi. Oh, really, Jaden? Why so? We can have all these discussions. You can at least show up for part of the stream, and then we can have these discussions on gaming-related topics, or gaming topics. Have I played some other Mega Man games? Yep, Kathleen. I've played all the mainline Mega Man Classic games, all the World games, Mega Man Extreme 1, all the X mainline games, all the Zero mainline games. I have not played ZX or ZX Advent, nor the Legends games. I played all the Battle Network mainline titles. I haven't played Star Force yet. As for the Mega Man spin-offs, I've mostly not played them. Yeah, Legendary dropped the ball so hard with the detective movies. In the sense of, why don't we have the sequel out already? Come on, Pokemon is a worldwide cash cow franchise. Everyone and their brother knows about it. I'm not talking in terms of quality, I'm talking in terms of money, the moolah. Oh yeah, Capcom announced and most likely shelved. Oh, they put in cryogenic freezing. Super Mario Bros. Remastered. Hang on a moment, is that the one in Godot? Or Godot? Or Godoing, let me see. Yes, I think this is the one in Godot. Thank you for reminding me, Cutman. What makes it even more interesting is that you'll be able to more easily edit the game to include new packs, items, assets, etc. And that's a good thing, J Butters. Don't have emotional attachment to big corporations. They don't care about you. It should be mostly strictly transactional. I understand caring to a certain degree, but don't feel like you have an emotional love, hate, whatever. That's pretty much what I think, Manubi, about when I think about slop. It implies little to no artistic intent or value, just something that was quickly created and just exists. That was quickly manufactured and simply exists. And when I say that, I'm also saying, I'm gonna make a specification, something that was put out not specifically for training. Ooh, amazing! Thank you, Salty. I'm a bit behind in chat, I'll get here. Oh yeah, same with what happened to Odyssey. Honestly, I really wish they turned up the Tokusatsu to 11. I honestly think that would work well with Mega Man Classic. Or even Mega Man X. I've seen Kamen Rider. Enough Kamen Rider series. Oh, is Mega Man ZX good? I'll have to get back to you on that, Salty. I haven't played it. I've seen a full playthrough of the first game and the second. I've seen a discourse about it. I'll talk to you in private about it. But to summarize, it has some neat ideas as a quote-unquote successor to the Zero series, but it's... Well, the attempt to make a Metroidvania for the first one, they didn't do it quite optimally. Sequel has some interesting things, but we'll get to that. I'm more interested in Gunvolt 2. That feels closer to a true successor to Zero series, one true successor, but it still has a bunch of the Inti quote-unquote Inti creates isms. Mega Man was always a kind of a BT series for Capcom. I would have preferred that they allocated more resources for the games from time to time, but it's B tier, at best. I think Detective Pikachu was decent, it could be better, but I liked it. Yeah, I love Nintendo as a game developer. They always seem to have a lot of interesting ideas and great executions, creative, interesting stuff. But their business practices... If I were to ignore the business practices, one of my favorite game companies, business practice-wise, doesn't help that most of their products don't really go on sale. See, everything. Oh yeah, I can't wait for Slop Slop. Oh yeah, that level pack apple. Could you I seen it. The thing is, I forgot to respond to it, and I was a bit too busy with other things. As a reminder to someone who's asked, no, I'm not covering Hollow Knight today. I'll do it tomorrow. And then I'm gonna take a short And then I'll take a short pause for the Sage stuff. Oh, it's a bit of an older pack, but sure, I'll cover it. Star Force is currently the last collection. We still need a Legends pack. Oh, I remember Sunflower, that was kind of... I hope, Jaden. I hope it's sooner rather than later. They deserve to have a lot of books thrown at them. In the entire bookcase. Really, if it was just a book, it should have been it would have been years ago. Will Mega Man Maker add more bosses in future? Most likely. Same applies to the weapons. We have Thunderman's weapon already. Also, we have the Blade Cracker too. Yeah, Nintendo's creatives are they still churn out gold and platinum. Nintendo and their subsidiaries and associated companies. Ah, that's the commenting, Jaden. I would argue most developers, artists, creatives, they dislike the corporate side of the corporate suits. Anyways, as for this stage, sorry for the whole diatribe, we went for about 10 minutes. This is tougher than I Will Win's level. I appreciate the challenges that are involved. Base is a bit of the easier version because, oh goodness, try doing this in Mega Man without the safety of the double jump. The second to last part was a bit annoying, but that was more due to me not using the right weapons. If you have the slash color killer bullets, it's E. Otherwise, yeah, thank you. Number 3 up is Space Travel Based on Not Quest, Stage 5. Golgi Hines by Lapadio. 70th place, score 34. But yeah, this is why I tend to keep promoting indie games so much. And one of the primary reasons why I love to cover Sage, in addition to the Steam Next Fest. Sage more so because there's a less of expectation of polish, and there's a lot better expectation of experimentation and what have you. Whoa, 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 whoa. Like with Steam Next Fest, all the games that are featured there, pretty much all the games that are featured there are going to eventually be sold, so there's a certain expectation of polish that also reduces the amount of creativity that's possible. Meanwhile, in the shoot 'em up, your daily dose of being electrocuted, says Base. I love how I can just damage boost through this because, yeah. Goodbye. Goodbye, too. I'm surprised when I covered the previous level pack the game didn't bug out, because apparently, the newest update at the time was, kinda buggy. Oh, certainly, Jaden. Ooh! Watch out! Ow. Ow. Uh-oh. I'm dead. Goodbye. This isn't even the tough. This is far from being the toughest of the patio stuff. Ow. Let me go! Whew, split second. Ow. Oh, I can't triple hit you. You fixed that. Let me in. And we're out of here. This was surprisingly easier compared to your previous space travel based on quest levels. Fascinating. Yeah, it's turning into a blue whale. Oh, sorry, Manubi. It's the one of the things I missed from the deprecated X mod. Zero mod though, that's cool. Thank you, Salty El Paizo. A solid level, we're going to the better stuff. Is it as good as Hollow Knight? No, of course not, but... it's like comparing most of video games to one of the rock stars, the exemplars. Yeah, we got Tree Houses, the DLC, then the Tree Hopes Musu game, and now this. Nice. I wonder where we're gonna take the series from there. Board on the lineup is Under Snake Syndrome by Janox74, 65 plays and a score of 30. Well, good for me, I guess. I stopped going on that side, and I've been and overall I've been happier. Same as the Yoshis. Whoa. Oh my goodness, I love this team. I wish it was a bit lengthier before it looped. But that applies to almost all the X2 tracks, so yeah. We already had a whole discussion about it a few weeks back. Oh my gosh, Shunikichiya Butters. That can apply to so many different games now. I still want... Come on, Nintendo. One moment. Trying to see who it collabed with. Come on, Nintendo. Agree for the re-release of Dragalia Lost. Please. Am I missing something? Oh, okay. I know Cygames will be happy for that. Like, Dragalia Lost was a collab between Nintendo and Cygames, and Cygames has already released a bunch of their gacha games without the gacha elements on Steam. So I do need to use this. Oh no! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Crab. That was anticlimactic. Slashed in half. Oh, I want that. Thank you, Yetis. Well, what about Cygames, Jaden? I know that the creators of the wildly successful Uma Sume. One of you already made a joke about it in chat a few minutes ago. I'm sorry, Cutman. Hey, Gabriel. It's a battle between Sega Sammy and Squeenix versus Ubisoft for who collapses first. I don't know for Square Enix. I'm gonna say it's either gonna be Ubisoft or Sammy. Oh gosh. Oh wait, this is a safe platform. If there was a hard mode version of Stage, the safe platform would not exist. This is the first time I've seen anyone actually use it like... Well, other people have done it, but I didn't get their level submitted here. Novel and it works. And yeah, Sega has Atlas now. So they have the power of Persona and Metaphor Refantasio and Tensai. Jaden, you mentioned something about Psy Games. Could you clarify about that? I feel like I missed something there. Yeah, Squeenix did do that. Partly due to their incompetence, partly due to experimenting, some of the experiments not panning out. At the same time, we still get some experimentation, like the wildly successful HD 2D style via Octopath Traveler. Like, of the three companies listed, I'd be more worried about Ubisoft. But that's just from my third-party speculation, armchair discussion front, and I haven't checked their revenues recently. It just seems like, at least with Squeenix and Sega Sammy, they've been able to at least get several bangers that are well regarded from fans and critics. With Ubisoft, that hasn't been the case of recent. Good thing I can't get hit by those. I don't think it's a Psy Games call, I think it's more a Nintendo call, Jaden, because Regalia Lost was a collab between Nintendo and Psy Games, and Psy Games has re-released a bunch of their games on the PC already. But you know how Nintendo thinks about... You know how Nintendo wants to kind of control what platforms they want their games to be sold in? Oh, yeah, you. Sorry. A lot? You mean, when you say a lot, you mean on Nintendo control platforms? Again, I'm just looking at their past histories. Cygame has happily re-released a bunch of their gacha games before. Nintendo, doesn't really have the same record on that. Now, if it was a different gacha game company, sure, I'd put more credence to them, but I'd blame Nintendo. They're... Honestly, more of my blames with Sega Sammy, most of my blames about in regards to Sega come in regards to Sonic Team and Sega Sammy, not so much in terms of Atlas, RGG, and the various subsidiaries. It goes back to the whole point about how I think there's still creative talent there, creative skills. It's just that the management is less than ideal, as it is with many Omega Corps, unfortunately. But yeah. If you know me, you know how much I really want a lot of different gacha games to be re-released with the gacha elements just excised. And really happy that Capcom actually decided to re-release X-Dive. Anyways, that was a nice rompy stage. A little bit better than rompy because we had the blade lift bouncers, which was neat. Anyways, fifth up is Flower Station by Sunflower Azumarill, trade replay score of 8. Jukebox. I prefer Hornet / Honey Woman stage team. Sunflora. Oh, more? Alright, no dodge roll. I don't want that power down. It's a mage, still hasn't been upgraded. True, J-Butters, but it is still doable. In some games, it's easier to excise the gacha elements more than others. I'll just say it that way. I'm not saying it's impossible, it's just that it depends on the game. It also depends on how generous the elements were, too. Like, you can still technically have, like, you can actually, if you really want to do a cheaper way of doing it, you can also keep a lot of the... You could also just replace a lot of the quote-unquote gacha elements with just in-game RNG itself. And just speed up the progression by increasing, I don't know, the ticket rate. But replace all the microtransactions and just have it all be internal. As another example, Metal Slug Attack, or was it Defense? When it was re-released, they excised the gacha elements. And I agree, it's doable, but you have to... It depends, but like many things, it also depends on the game itself. For the games that focus more heavily on the gameplay front... Okay, for the video games that focus more on the gameplay front and the gacha things are not as heavily prevalent, it would be ideally easier, but we'll see. Metal Slug Attack. Defense is the old game, I think. But yeah, a lot of the... I'm not talking about the most popular gacha games because, I would argue for most of them you could excise... There's enough gameplay to justify... There's enough gameplay left over after excising the gacha elements or replacing them. But if you're talking about the raw number of them, yeah, no. And when I talk about gameplay, I forgot to mention, that includes the story too. Pumpkin. I want to carve this pumpkin. I was unable to successfully carve the pumpkin. Okay. You're welcome, unban me. I will win. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, wait. Spike guard. When I talk about the most popular ones, I'm talking about, you know, the Miho the Hoyoverse stuff. Project Grey Raven, Punishing Grey Raven. What was the other one? Gosh, one of the main competitors to that when they sort of fixed it. Well, like those. Well, it's gonna be a hot take for some here. Forced replay value. Well, luckily there's no tokens to collect here, so it's not forced. And yes, before someone asks again, yes, I will play a gacha game for the scraps and giggles sometime in the future. Nope. Okay. They don't even fire back. It seems like the flower present. It seems like the beaks and flower presenters which counter. Yeah, it's not forced, it's by player choice. There are no rewards for doing it, but hey, you get 2 different routes if you want. There doesn't have to be extrinsic modification. There doesn't inherently have to be extrinsic modification. Blah, my voice is dying. Excuse me. There doesn't need to be extrinsic motivation in order to take alternate routes. I was gonna say modification as in combining motivation and notification. Okay, this is where the 2 routes link up with each other. I mean, it's either gonna be that, Honkai Star Rail, or ZZZ. Am I gonna enjoy the gameplay loop? Outside of the gacha elements, sure. With a few of those games though, especially with how much free content they give, oh my goodness, it's gonna be at the very least a 100 episode LP. At the bare minimum. And at least like 50 stream. If I do 2-hour streams, it's gonna take at least a year to actually catch up to one region before the latest one, currently latest one. I'm impressed with with Hoyoverse's update cadence. It's very consistent and predictable. Very consistent, predictable, and provides a new decent chunk of gameplay. Whoa, whoa. And they basically follow a lockstep model where it's Genshin followed by... Okay. Genshin followed by... Okay, Genshin followed by Star Rail, followed by ZZZ, rinse and repeat. Come back here! Whoa! Wow, go me! Bees! Fire? Ah, darn it. I thought I could take one more hit. I understand that point, J Butters. I just come from the perspective of... Well... I enjoy playing levels in the first place. I don't need more motivation to actually replay through them. I guess you could add multiple energy elements per stage. I don't think a shop system would help. Thank you, Tyler. You would have to make some minor modifications, Jaden, but you could just replace them with something like upgrade tickets or whatever, and delete the microtransactions. Like after gaining a set amount of experience or resources, you can convert them into upgrade tickets, and then you can use them to pull for upgrades or new characters. When I say upgrades, I'm also including stuff like new weapons, armors, skills, blah blah blah. When I say pull for, I mean, it's gonna be randomized. It's gonna be somewhat randomized, sure. You want to preserve some of the randomness, but you'll at least have much more guarantee to get something. Help! Get me down. That's it. I already fumbled this fight enough. Let's burn you. Sheesh, I never realized how dangerous the hornets are. No! Oh my goodness. Whew. I think this is the best designed stage so far. It did get tricky near the end, and the boss fight, especially his role, is in the second part, especially because of how the blocks form, it becomes quite tricky. Ah, sure, Jane. Let's hear the success story. I guess the shop could give cosmetics, and for longtime players, just give really overpriced golden cosmetics or whatever. Hey, Buster. But yeah, I'm gonna run a poll. Probably it's gonna be Genshin. I know the beginning part is gonna be kind of rough. We'll see. There are enough jokes about it. Release this 9/4. Wait, I think I know. Give me a moment. Oh yeah, the action-adventure title, Hell Is Us. Yeah, a lot of people are looking forward to that. I'm just kidding, Skong. Wuthering Waves, that's the other game I was thinking about, but I was having a brain fart. Frontiers versus Genshin, that wouldn't exactly be a fair one. If I'm gonna do it, it's gonna be Gacha versus Gacha. Like, I'm almost automatically gonna put Frontiers over Genshin, just because one is not a Gacha or another. Like, despite how jokey I am, I don't like Gacha games in general, because of how predatory they are and how they thrive on whales. I don't think that's a good model to actually... I don't think that's an ethical model to work on. I know. A lot of the video game industry's business practices are not ethical. I just find that especially not ethical. But, I don't know. Oh yeah, Jet Runner. Isn't that one of the spiritual successors to Cloud Build? Or Super Cloud Build? I never covered a demo because I'm bad at these sort of games. Oh, oh no. I don't know how to respond to your question, Hyper, without going to another 15-minute discussion. I used DeviantArt for multiple years, but I left it because of the overprevalence of AI junk flying the site, and them being complicit in it. Them being the DeviantArt's upper staff, management. Quick, everyone talk about Silksong spoilers. It stars Hornet. It takes place in the Kingdom of Farloom. Report that to the Des. Yeah, if I run the poll, it's gonna be probably Genshin versus... Well, I'm not sure if I should restrict it to Hoyoverse or include other things. If I were just talking about Viz for Viz comparisons, it'd be Genshin versus Wuthering Waves versus probably another gacha whose name escapes me right now. Or I just compare against all the Tree Hoyoverse stuffs. The sad thing is, gameplay-wise, I'll probably enjoy both of those games more than X-Dive. Anyways, thank you for listening to my 4th TED Talk of the day. 6th up is The Mountain of No Lava Behind You by Para0, 33 plays and a score of 2. Ooh, it's a bit polarizing. Only one weapon. I see. Oh no. No slide either. Nope. I got backhanded. Okay, it's fast. Oh no. I'm dead. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up! Ah. Okay, we're safe for a moment. Luckily, there's mostly no need to slide, but it... Oh no. I made a mistake. Let me in, let me in. Huh. Okay, this is just scarier than it actually looks. This is less scary than it actually looks. Might be. Make sure to cancel the weapon. Whoa, whoa, whoa. See you, Apple. I did see it unban me. I'm gonna prioritize levels made by creators here, but I will note it down. Stop and go station, lava station. I'll get there, J-Butters. I'm going through a stage that forces my almost complete attention here. Not in a bad way, but in actually an interesting way. It's one of those stages which doesn't necessarily throw its challenges randomly and willy-nilly to me. It was actually somewhat, at the very least, somewhat thoughtfully designed in regards to Mega Man's more limited moveset and lack of being able to shoot. Because I've seen many stages that try to experiment with this and oh, okay, I have to redo this. Okay. Mostly well thought out. And taking into consideration Mega Man's more limited moveset without the slide or charge shot and not being able to shoot. What? Oh yeah, got clipped in there. And I disagree with the downvotes, it's not really that tough. The first part is a little bit scary, but... And it's not like it tries to catch you off guard. There are a few points where it sort of does, but they don't involve instant death. Hippies. Cat. Attention mark. Yellow Devil? Oh no. Heat. Fireman. Oh my... Uh-oh. I see you're trying to mimic Mega Man 1 with how we have to... There's a lead up to the boss fight that contains enemies. Welp. I thought I jumped high enough. Oh, sure, you give it to me now. I don't mind having the boss run, but I prefer having this at least a gun or the ability to slide. Oh, thank goodness I went for the E-Tank. And I didn't actually need the E-Tank. Bravo. Let's see, I'm trying to catch up. MX, you sent one. Let me comment. Oh no. Yeah, I think it was kind of weird for them to release Jet Runner alongside Silk Song. That was not a wise decision. I'll figure out all about Venti in the future. With how the song was, I thought we were gonna have Yellow Devil show up. Fireman's more befitting. Let's see. See Apple. I think most of the chat forgot about the whole DeviantArt discussion, Jay Butters. And honestly, that's not even the main problem with the site anyways. I'm talking about the DeviantArt of old, not the one of current day. My issue with the DeviantArt of current day is the explosion of AI works. Yeah, pretty much just purely Gen AI works, and the company has done nothing but basically give more tools to people to easily generate those on the side. Crowding out a lot of the original works that were and are being submitted to the site, pushing people off basically. Pretty much abandoning their original audience of people who use the site. Like I've had many problems with DeviantArt's upper management for years. My biggest thing is that they don't seem to understand the audience that the site was initially designed for, and have basically been trend chasing. Oh sure, they've made some interesting ideas over time, but they've made some good ideas over time, but nowadays. Of course, nowadays it's even harder to share art because many of the main go-to sites that used to be good enough in the past are now the opposite. Alright, I'll be right back in a moment. Short pause. But actually before that, this stage didn't deserve this many downvotes. It is a bit tricky without having access to a shooty weapon or be able to slide, but the stage is actually well considered to be designed around that fact. It kinda reminds me of Mega Man 1 or 2 stage, but actually better and well thought out. There were a few points that did try surprising me, but they didn't involve instant death. I do have a complaint about going for the E-Tank, basically forcing you to perish. Other than that, I like it. I'd say it's one of the better levels of this episode. Alright, I'll be right back. And I have returned. Let's see what Jay Butter said. Upload post. Already commented on that. I'll take handmade quote-unquote, double quote-unquote, low-quality artwork and stories and prose over Gen AI slop any days. If you spend at least a token effort of time to create your works, I'll be happy to spend a token amount of time checking them out. Time and effort. And I pretty much agree. The low effort, I'm not just talking about corn with the C replaced with P. I'm talking about all the works. I mean, a lot of furry artists went over to Blue Sky, and I appreciate it, but Blue Sky is certainly not a bastion. It's just like Twitter in its older times, which is to say, it won't last forever. There's also Mastodon, but most people find it too difficult to use, and there's some inherent problems in the design that have not been resolved. I wish the frozen part of KH3 was a lot more like how it was originally intended in the design docs. That seemed like a much more interesting implementation or adaptation of Frozen in regards to KH3's lore and universe. Alright, 7th up is Forgotten Factory Part 1, Fabrication Center by TylerBot, 12 plays and a score of 1. Yeah, that seemed a lot more interesting. Diagonal Chris. Diagonal Delta Rune. Fine. Will I come to regret my decision? Let's find out. At least I can slide. Oh no! Oh. Where will this take me? Okay, I'm backtracked even further by accident. I was trying to be sure of something. Yeah, that needs to be facing left for it to work. No, I should have jumped. It takes double damage too. Still not... well... I was gonna say, why couldn't we just have a 50% mode, but, you know... if it ever gets out of the maker, it's gonna take like 15 years. And at least another game. As much as I like Maker, there are some decisions that I really prefer if they got fixed faster. Or altered, but... you know, eventually when the Maker servers are closed down, something lasts forever, I'd like to read a post-mortem of this whole development, how it was designed. Because I know from hearsay that the way Maker was designed and the whole way that the development schedule was handled in the early era, it wasn't ideal. Or rather, it was ideal for a smaller project, but not what Maker became. Oh yes, I want to switch. Ouch. Yeep! I wish I could fast fall. Oh yeah, ladder. Welp. The other problem is Proto Man double damage means I can only do this twice. Okay. Yeah, I'll take the bomb. Ah, that feels a lot better. I think I played through a version of the stage in the past. And don't get me wrong, even with some of the things I'm uttering, this is actually one of the better designed levels, because it knows exactly what the character limitations are, and is built around them. For instance, I don't get any life pickups, so I need to be careful. Extra careful. Yeah, all the other channels left somehow. Oops. Quick and efficient. If there's a way to describe Maker and its update cadence, it's neither quick nor efficient. And it's not just due to how small the team size is, Jay Butters. There were some fundamental organizational problems that plagued the development schedule, the development cycles for most of its lifespan. It's sort of been fixed, I think, or rather it's not being complained about as much, but we could have had the updates come out with far less bugs if the team had a better handle of what they were doing. Again, the Maker devs are Again, Mega Man Maker ended up being far more popular than pretty much anyone expected. And as such, the way that the whole team was organized initially did not really suit the needs of a live service game. It would have been fine if it was like a mostly one and done deal and updates came out every year or so. But trying to go for rapid fire updates like this, trying to go for a semi-regular cadence like a live service model, that requires a certain team, a certain way the teams are organized, and it didn't really have that. But yeah. I say that like in comparison with the Magmal 2 team, which was developed around the same time, that was better suited for a large fan game. True, they have to also sink money. I don't blame them. I don't blame the team size and how less time they have to develop the game. I'm just more talking about the game is more closer to its infancy and young ages, and perhaps middle ages, of how it could have been developed in a more consistent and less buggy fashion. There's also the whole way the game is architected, there's also the whole way the game is architected from a software perspective, or game design perspective, that doesn't make it as straightforward to extend with new stuff. Hence why a lot of bugs get through. Whoops. Like, if you're gonna build a game and expect to have semi-frequent updates, you better make sure it's actually extensible, reasonably extensible. Maker, unfortunately, for a lot of its time period, it still is not quite. So it also meant that adding new things that were major enough required a lot more testing and bugs to creep in. Oh no. No! Let me out. I'm dead. I'm not? What? Okay. I'm waiting for you, Froggy. Do your worst. No. Wait for you here. Stand. Oh. This is one of the reasons why I brought the drill bomb, among many. Drill bomb. In case I missed something, I guess? Yes. Ah. Oh well. Okay, now I get a choice depending on which special weapon I took. I'll take the middle teleporter. So, adds to replayability. That actually really adds to replayability because depending on whether I took a secret route earlier or chose a different weapon for my reward, that'll dictate what challenges I'll encounter here, specially designed. Oh my goodness. I probably missed something. Oh no, I'm dead. Yeah, the really old stuff with technical debt that was made during the WreckingPrograms era. Old in quotation marks. Yeah, if Maker was made nowadays, the devs would have definitely made it more easily extensible. Again, I feel a lot of these problems with Maker in terms of the game engine or the coding side is more because the devs didn't expect how much this would blow up and how long they would actually be creating new updates for it, posting new content patches and what have you. I honestly think that the devs were thinking that the game would only really be super popular for 2 years at most, maybe 3. If you think about it, if the game would only be real, like, they expected players would still play the game after the 2 or 3 years passed, but it wouldn't be like as a consistent win as it is nowadays. Like, the game being alive for 8 years is nothing short of a miracle. I want to emphasize, this is a fan-made live service game, a live service fan game, which is an absolute rarity when you think about it. Like, I can't really name any other ones that have basically a freely usable server. No. Yeah, that setup is devious. Feel free to go off topic then, Jaden. Yeah. As much as I complain about Maker, I need to keep emphasizing how strange it is that we basically have... It started out as basically a fan game with cool, free servers, but most of us didn't expect the servers to be free for indefinitely, or even this long, maybe just for a few years, and then they'll shuttle off to a model where you would have to share the levels yourself through Google Drive or OneDrive or email. But no, it stayed this long, and devs have consistently been putting out various updates. I can't even think of one other quote-unquote live service fan game. All the other ones are either all the other live service things I can think of are all just commercial products. Or for fan games or fan products that have been receiving updates continuously for years, they don't have a free server. Like, I know there's level creators like Super Mario Bros. X2, and stuff and the like, but not like this. And all the mod servers died up because, well, they stopped paying for it and various other things. Yeah, people can just ask for objects and don't think of anything else. That's why, regardless of all the criticisms I do about Maker, about drop button inputs, or ice physics, or fan physics, or whatever, I'm still really happy how this game's turned out, overall. More than happy, to be honest. Let me out. That room is so deviously tough. Different boss rooms, eh? And that's really just because of the crash lifts and how they function. Mega Mix was never gonna be a... Oh my gosh. Lol. Because I had Proto Man plus a drill bomb, I turned Gutsman into a complete joke. Or almost complete joke. Like, don't get me wrong, I have many criticisms for Maker, but you have to... For those watching, you have to temper it with the size of the team. Could Maker have turned out better with the same number of developers, but with a better plan? Yes. But hindsight's 2020. Pretty much none of us expected it to last this long or just blow up. Oh yeah, any props. It's more alive than Megamix, I agree, but Megamix was always going to be geared towards it was never going to be as easy and straightforward to use as Maker, and it was designed more straightforward for a developer crowd. Plus, it's currently in a state where the devs are working on porting it over to a more easily downloadable program, that being Game Maker Studio 2, or maybe even Godot in the future, we'll see. Like, it's more difficult to use Megamix to make levels compared to Maker, but you get a whole bigger realm of possibilities. What doesn't help is that the Mega Man fan game community is certainly smaller than Mario or Sonic, and that also applies to the devs. So even if you provide one of the best engines for making Mega Man Maker, so even if you make one of the best engines for designing Mega Man Classic and associated levels, you're gonna have fewer people making them. Okay, as for this stage, you know, when I was starting this week's stream, I thought at best the level quality would be as good as Spacetronaut Quest or Molting Depths, or Power Station. But this stage by Towerbot, it blows everyone else out of the water. It has a similar idea of the mountain of no lava behind you of limiting the player's abilities. In this case, you can play as Mega Man with the Buster, or you can play as Proto Man with the Slide, Shield, and Sword initially, but they take double damage, but eventually get the ability to upgrade your stuff. And regardless of characters, you have no life pickups outside checkpoints. But for every section, it's actually well designed to take into consideration each of the character's strengths and weaknesses. When I say that, what I mean by that is that every section is tightly designed to the point where It's fairly straightforward to route. The hard part is actually executing. And the tricky parts are when if you let too many of the tops or enemies build up over time. And each of the challenges start off easy and build up over a period of time. Starting off with, for example, the crash lifts and the bell ringers, but placed over an environment where if you missed a few jumps initially, it's safe enough to be teleported back. Like, it is a bit of a rough start, but it gradually escalates over time in a fine fashion. I'd recommend this at minimum to intermediate skill players because there are several mechanics the level expects you to have understood before getting into it. Otherwise, you'll be in for a rough experience. Me though, I quite enjoyed it, and I think it's an improvement over the original version I played months back. So overall, this is my favorite level of this week, TylerBot. Thank you. I have criticisms of how Megamix is being handled, but honestly, I think Pyro's done an overall better job managing that. I understand the other reason why it is slowing down is because people need a break from this. People needed a break from the development maple tree. Quote-unquote insular fan base with no new content does that to a fandom. There are new people joining the fandom, sure, but you need to have enough people and enough curators and devs to funnel them in to trying out the fan games. With Mario and Sonic, with the sheer number of people, with the sheer sizes of those fan bases, the far better well-established fan gaming and ROM hacking scenes, and a lot more well-established figures, it's a lot easier. It's no surprise why there's a lot more people playing those, checking out or trying out those fan games and hacks. I'm not just talking about the sheer larger size of those fan bases. I'm also talking about they are better established. I know Mega Man predates Sonic, but because of the Sonic's crossover with multiple other different fandoms and fan bases and communities, same with Mario, it gave them better leverage and resources to, I say days and oversimplification, but for the sake of that, let's squash it over. To give them the time resources to actually build a more well-burgeoning fan community. And of course, having new content come out on a regular basis helps a lot too. And it doesn't help that pretty much all the fan games you get are Mega Man Classic. We have Mega Man X fan games in development, but outside of Corrupted, most of them are not well known and it's taking time. Oh, unless they're X8, 16-bit, or Corrupted, not well known. Heck, I've seen more discussion about X8 16-bit in the Sonic Fan Gaming HQ than most Mega Man servers, sadly. Doesn't help that X-Fan games are more difficult to make for various reasons. Oh, kidding. Magwell Tree is so Magwell Tree is so dense with content, it does feel legal. It's a 30 to 40 hour plus experience. Oh, excuse me. 30 to 50 hour plus experience, depending on how you do it. It's frankly the same length of many JRPGs. It's crazy that we have a Mega Man fan game of all things that's a pretty much JRPG length without being a JRPG. And it's done in such a way that it doesn't feel like it's wasting your time. It's not like it has a lot of time wasting content, it's just that there's the sheer number of levels of, well, of course, varying qualities, so you have to take that into consideration. Because of the numerous levels of different ideas, explorations, levels of polish, well, it's gonna be the biggest Mega Man fan game for years to come. Perhaps forever, depending on how things go. And working on that project with barely any return for so long would wear out people. Yeah, Magma Tree is the same length of Noctis and Afterimage, and those are already, well, pretty big Metroidvanias, TM. And the fact you have Mega Man Classic, a game series which is known for each game taking only about 2 hours to beat, fan games maybe 3 to 4 hours to beat. The fact you have like a 30 to 50 plus hour experience, it's mind-boggling. The only other Mega Man fan game I can think that comes close would either be Magmal 2, its immediate predecessor, or Mega Man Maker, but that's a bit unfair because Mega Man Maker has the power of user-generated content. Magmal 4 will not exist in the same level or scope as Magmal 3. Will we have a successor to Magmal 3? Sort of, but it's going to be far reduced in scope because, okay, we may have about 150 submissions, maybe 200 submissions, but the overall scoping, story, side activities, everything surrounding the levels that are put into the game, those are going to be far reduced in scope, so it's much more manageable. Like, the development team of Magmal 3 kind of ballooned up to 40 plus people, or 60 plus people. It might as well turn into a AA project, or an A project, without the budget. If anything, the fact that they accomplished so much relatively so well with basically no budget and just with time, love, and passion, it's so impressive. Anyways, thank you for listening to my 6th TED Talk for today. Yeah, if you're gonna try topping a Magmal 3 with a quote-unquote Magmal 4, not actual name, you're pretty much gonna have to have the same format as Magmal 3, but with more submission stages, more classes of levels, maybe an entirely new campaign or two. And more forms of content, I guess. But you have to be careful then because you're gonna reach padding. Like, the only way I could see something become longer, lengthier than Magmal 3 without it feel like padding would be to have something like a Magmal X or Magmal X. Make a good Mega Man X level. Like, Mega Man Classic has this limitation. It has some inherent limitations in design that can be overcome or stretched, but you have to be careful because the further you stretch, the more you will alienate players and expectations. It is possible to expand the formula, but, well, you need to increase the base set of abilities, I guess. Which some levels in Magmal 2 and 3 did do, but even then, there were certain limitations of how far they could go. Also, you don't want to make the games too long. There are natural points where a game should end. You don't want it to overstay its welcome. I know Magmal 2, I know the whole Magmal series, with the exception of Episode 0, has certain limitations that will turn off a lot of people. Namely the fact that most of the main defining feature of the series being the contestant levels being of varying qualities with a low amount of quality control inherently part of the design. That's going to turn off a lot of people looking for levels which are at the very least decent. For Episode 0 and eventually 0-2 won't have this issue, but something to keep in mind. I doubt they'll be able to license Magmal 3 because in Magmal 3 there's content from games other than Capcom. From game series other than from Capcom. So yeah, no. They would have to rework or strip out a lot of content to fix that. And this also carries over to the levels themselves, which is a hard sell. Anyways, let's actually move on to the next stage before we start the 7th TED Talk. 8 up is Base 2 Underground Arsenal by Mr. and EEX. 10th place, score of 2. Here we go. Unfortunately, with how interconnected some of the things are, it's not as easy. Go ahead, Jaden. Have fun. I don't... Unfortunately, just saying ban the devs is not really an ideal solution because... how would you define a developer? Because if you're gonna gatekeep and prevent developers from submitting levels as contestants, you're gonna have to put a limit of... You're gonna have to try figuring out what level of development experience is unacceptable, and that's not really probable. Frankly, I don't mind that the top level stages are made by developers with quite a bit of experience. Yeah, I was overreaching there, sorry J Butters. I'm just saying that it's inevitable that people with more experience designing Mega Man levels will perform better in a contest where you're trying to design the best Mega Man levels. This is why I always try covering all the levels in the Magmal games. And it was actually said in the intro for Shinru that even if a level isn't necessarily one of the... Even if the level's not in the top 25 or some of the best ones, there's still some value to be found in them. Even the quote-unquote bad stages have good things in them, or interesting ideas. Remember Arcane Man? I actually like a lot of the ideas there, it's just the executions are, interesting. Let's put it that way. I mean, the next game is gonna be episode 0, so... the next game is gonna be episode 02, so... In that one, they will have quality control and people actually working together. What makes it interesting is that even if you're a developer, that doesn't necessarily mean you'll make a good stage. Like, at the point where I actually paused the LP months ago, one of the final stage in that tier was made by a developer, and I've heard it's done a lot of not the most well thought out things. I like that. I actually like the ice path. My least favorite path would probably be the fire path, but it's like comparing something that's decent to good. And hey, my favorite part of episode 0 is how they're able to rework some of the worst stages in Magmal 2 to something a lot better. Remember Airflow Hubble? That got turned into the final stage of the electric pad, if I recall correctly, and that's one of my favorite stages of the game. Fire pad has I don't think any stage in that... Honestly, in episode 0, there are no stages which you consider to be exact stinkers, but there are certainly levels which are not up to snuff compared to the others. For example, the pyramid level and the fire path. I know, it's become a meme, I'm sorry for beating up on that again. There were some levels that offered more frustration, like in the Null and Void, the Forest's web stage. But there were no stages in episode 0 which I consider to be bad, at the very least. So, improvement. I can't say the same for the other Magmal games. Likewise, Manubi. The least memorable stages in the Magmal series, referring to 1, 2, and 3, aren't the bad stages, or the good stages. It's actually most of the mediocre levels, because they're just okay, maybe rompy at best, but for most of them, they don't do anything bad, but they don't do anything well either, so they get stuck in the forgotten middle. There are some mediocre stages which do have some interesting ideas, and they actually become memorable, but yeah. See ya, Popcorn. Thanks for joining the stream. Goodbye. I've heard about that rant, Jedok. I am gonna cover it for a very specific reason. I don't like how that was I don't like that review. That's one of the main fun points about the Magwell series, especially contestant levels, going through all of them and seeing the various ideas and how well they were executed. And hey, they usually give us the tools to make the stages far easier if need be, so I don't really complain too much. And due to how the rules are set up, Kaizo stages don't get in anyways. Yes, Fu Man, J Butters. When I eventually get around, it's become somewhat infamous. That was made by a dev. I've heard various things about it. We'll talk about it when we get there. To be honest, that review was a warning sign. Oh, I'm laughing, but I shouldn't be laughing. I'm sorry. My other suggestion for going through the Magwell series is to not take it too seriously, especially with the contestant levels. Like, going into it, there's no expectation that... There shouldn't be an expectation that the levels submitted... There shouldn't be an expectation that the contestants were actually skilled designers. Like, it needs to be made well established, and I've seen many people, especially in the 2 era, who didn't actually understand this fact. The people who are submitting these levels, they're hobbyists at minimum, or they came across and say, hey, I want to take a shot at making a Mega Man stage. I know you all understand it, but especially during the release of 2 and around that era, there were too many people who didn't understand that fact and criticized the devs and judges for allowing scrap for being included into the game. I don't know. Only allowing good stages into a Magwell game would kind of defeat the purpose of it. At least the mainline Magwell game. Episode 0 is its own thing. Like, Magwell traces its own heritage to the whole Magwell X series of games, and before that, Magwell. Make a good level in the Mario fandom, which is where Pyro actually originates from, which Pyro is also quite part of. Yeah, Magwell 2 is also a lot smaller game. True. And the Magwell engine was such a step forward compared to the engine of Magwell 1 that it was a night and day difference. The Magwell 1 engine, not referring to remastered, the OG one, it used a somewhat patched up version of Blanca's engine, so it was basically made with duct tape and love. Emphasis on both. Because, oh my goodness, that engine is... Even during its time frame when the Magwell was made and we were designing levels, that engine was a pain to use, and it was... To put it diplomatically, far from ideal. And Magwell 2's engine, chef's kiss, such an awesome step forward. Megamix was also an option. Megamix was also an awesome step forward, but not to the same extent as 1 to 2. Anyways, thank you for listening to my 7th TED Talk. Let's cover one more stage here. Oh, wait. Hang on a moment. I have a level from Oscarm I should actually check out. Oh, I wonder what happened to Oscarm today. Ninth up is Bubbleman Wants Pizza by Oscarm. 57 plays, score 22. Autocorrect the grammar. And hey, we're actually talking about Mega Man, which is on topic. Usually we go off topic in this stream. Oh. Okay. Help. Okay. Is that how we're gonna play? Cake delivery. I keep forgetting I can't slide with this. Give it a moment. This is an Oscar stage, so you know what to expect. It's hilarious how the man managed to pad this out without including that many extra screens. But, yeah. Go over to the left to pick up the cake. Go again so you can get the energy to pick it up. Basically, unload the cake from the truck and then pick it up. The Mega Man games that actually pay the most attention to their backstory or lore would probably be Legends or Star Force. Like the first Star Force game, I think actually has the first and third Star Force game. I think has the most interesting stories. It also helps that Battle Network and Star Force actually treats its plot as a non-excuse plot, unlike most of the Mega Man games. I'd also say that Zero has an interesting story. Your mileage may vary on how good it's executed. If you're talking about a traditional 2D Mega Man platformer with a story, sure. From the Zero series onwards, they actually started treating it consistently seriously enough. Don't tell that to Buster. And that sort of extends to ZX and Advent. Legends as well. But if you're talking about the most amount of story and character development in regards to the game, that of course goes to Star Force. And Battle Network by extension. Star Force more so because it has a more mature storyline. Surprisingly so. When I eventually get around to Star Force DX, sure. I haven't actually played Star Force, so most of the story I know in bits and pieces. I know how 1 ends outside of the, well, bonus stuff. And I know the major bosses, but not really the gameplay mostly. I mean the gameplay's intricacies. I know the overall gameplay loop. Okay, that I didn't talk about Oscar on stage because it's exactly what it says on the tin. Nothing more to be added. 10th up is Quick Tower by Rock and Roll 555. 122 plays and a score of 57. Da, 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 da. I'm reaching the point... Ooh, big block. I'm reaching the point where I'm running low on things to say, and I basically finished all the levels on the queue that I want to cover right now. I could also cover the Metroidvania stage, but I want to save that for a later date. Not the most controlled environment, but it works. Ice. I'm not a channel that focuses on rage bait. There's enough of that already. How about joy bait? Gaster. Man, eventually when I play Deltarune on the channel, there's gonna be so many Delta memes in the Delta chat. I like the rails too. It's called Quick Tower, but where are the quick lasers? Or force beams? Don't worry. At least, if you want something to talk about Deltarune, you can talk about it here. Luckily, I went to college. And I think I can read well enough. I hope. Now anything with wheels can, which is a great one. And when I say discussing Deltarune here, I'm not just talking about the Delta memes, the Delta rot. I'm talking about the actual story implications and theories, speculations, character building, and the actual game mechanics and gameplay loop, potential fan works, fan games, fanfics, etc, etc. There's a lot to be discussed at Deltarune, but unfortunately over here, it mainly devolves into Delta rot and Delta memes that have been already expressed in countless permutations in other servers. Better. For the most part, there are some exceptions. Thank you, J-Betters. Like, there are a lot of funny jokes that were created by Trinity Plus 4, and they are warranted, deliberately so, and many of them are also deliberately egged on by Toby. But Trinity Plus 4, it also, at the same time being having a lot of funny jokes and memes, it does have a lot of interesting things to talk about in regards to the prophecy, the lore, about the characters, what's going to end up happening at the end of the game. Like the true ending of the prophecy. Not to mention, are we going to have alternate endings? The true connection of Deltarune to Undertale. Like, a Tree was technically in-universe a filler chapter, sort of. Well, Tree was mostly a filler chapter, but it was also hilarious. Initially it was... See, in-universe Tree is supposed to be technically a filler chapter. Out of universe, though, it's the last chapter that follows the quote-unquote traditional format of 1, 2, and 3. Being mostly a goofy romp, but with some serious undertones and serious sections, and character development. 4 is the first chapter where the game shoes as clowns, and it becomes much more serious. It has its goofy bits, sure. See, a dark place. But for the most part, E. Like, Jackenstein was the last really humorous part of Chapter 4 before we really went down serious. Well, Jackenstein, and to a certain extent, Hammer of Justice. Oh yeah, and the mic joke was just chef's kiss. Thank you, Toby. Yeah, we're just assuming that the mysterious man is him. But he's only referred to as him in the code, in the game files. It's never explicitly referred to as Gaster. We're only just, a lot of us are just assuming it's Gaster, but who knows? It could actually be Gaster, an AU version of Gaster, or someone else entirely. Like, Hammer of Justice is simultaneously kind of humorous, but it is serious but more lighthearted, giving Susie, and by extension giving Susie hope for rewriting the future. I honestly believe that Deltarune is going to have multiple endings, but the actual nature of the multiple endings, I'm not sure. Josh. Honestly, that's something Toby... I wouldn't put it past Toby to do something like that. Yeah, we never actually saw Papyrus in Deltarune. That's curious. Like, I feel like the best ending... I feel like one of the endings is going to be tied to collecting all the Shadow Shards, or Black Shards. Or whatever they're exactly called. It really feels like it's building up to something. And of course, there's the weird route. Which, one of my suspicions is that if we're on the weird route and reach I have a feeling that the game will end early if we keep going on the weird route. But that's just a theory. But yeah, if you want to keep discussing these Delta theories in the future, J Butters, I'll be happy to. Man, this stinks. I mean, there are some funny Deltarune and Delta memes out there that haven't even been referenced in here. You've only scratched the surface. Like, of all the people who've been actually searching out the Delta memes and bringing new Delta meme material, it'd be you, J Butters. You're at least trying to vary up your stuff. And to some extent, Sylv. Meanwhile, the rest of the gang here doesn't seem to... I'm saying it in an affectionate way, seems content with the memes already posted here and are recycling them. Which, to a certain degree, I also find funny, but new material's nice too. I think we've already gone through most of the levels we want to, so let's end it off here. So overall, of the 10 levels I covered in today's morning stream, my favorite one would absolutely be Forgotten Factory Part 1 by TylerBot. And thank you to everyone else who submitted levels to me, it's really appreciated. So with all that said and done, it is time for the art showcase. After 2 weeks it seems. 18 Winters. The crop was bothering me too much in the original post. I see. Ring-a-ding gets the boss card. Recent remake of Old Melon Man made during the 2010s. You know what I believe, Minubi? I have a suspicion that there may be multiple Roaring Knights. I feel that's something Toby would also do as well. Old versus... I'm sorry, the old design kind of reminds me of some of the NES bootlegs. Like, Des... I'm thinking Des... I don't think Carol's the Roaring Knight. Des, in some shape or form, maybe, but I feel Toby wouldn't be so obvious there and may add a twist into the tale by having multiple. Flower. Shield. Grill shield. Both Carol and Rudy are the knight. The same or different knights. Rudy being a knight... Rudy being the knight or a knight, I could see that. Like, we don't know the qualifications of becoming the Roaring Knight in the first place. Or A. I need to clarify A or the. And for that matter, we don't even know if there's more people working behind the scenes other than him. Tomorrow. Today. I wish there was a version that showcased yesterday with Pablo on it. Oh. Oh, music. Give me a sec. Neat. That's a good question, Jay Butters. What happened? The game never really explained what didn't never really elaborated up to this point of what happens to a lightner who falls or gets lost in the dark. Like, it wouldn't be out of place if a lightner somehow gets lost in the dark. Like, I have a suspicion that dark fountains have been opened up in the past before, Chris, Susie, and before Chris and Susie went into the picture, or Chapter 1, basically. Malghoul. Malghoul. Jewel Mall. And we already have an inkling of what happens if a corpse is reanimated in Dark World, or a monster's dust. What happens if you have a body, though, before it turns into dust? Also, monster, and apparently according to and Susie bled in the Dark World. Does that mean that monsters bleed in the Deltarune universe? Or does that mean that Susie's part human? Or is it both? Like, I know in the Undertale verse that monsters don't bleed. Does that apply in Deltarune? We need to see someone else bleed before that. I know this may be just me looking too much into things, but it's something to point out. Sans is the one exception, which is... Of course, that begs another question of why only him. Yeah, based on how Susie reanimated him, it's not a dead person literally coming back, but rather the perception by the person. Of course, if we're assuming that the first Sanctuary Dark World was created by the Roaring Knight, that puts more credence into the identity of that knight. Yeah, I think one of the theories is that I agree with that Rudy's probably going to kick the bucket somehow. It is affected by the perception of them, but having a body versus having a pile of dust does affect things. But we'll find out in the future, next year. In any case, this marks the end of the stream. Thank you to everyone who either submitted their levels, submitted their art, or simply participated in chat. It's due to your continued support why I continue to produce new content for our channel. It's really appreciated. So, if you're enjoying this or any other video or stream on the channels, please rate, comment, favorite, and or subscribe, as they all help it out. Don't forget to follow me on Blue Sky and Mastodon as well, and join my Discord server, as I regularly post updates there. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all later.